I believe that says a lot for us here in Central Ohio.
It really does. Columbus, the whole Ohio music scene, I think, is very strong and very, very diverse. I was commenting with several people earlier that you could be looking for just about anything and find it here at Confest. You have the off-ramp stage has some of the great kind of alternative and harder bands. You have the jazz stage, which also features a lot of great blues. The gazebo stage features all kinds of great music, and the main stage, and it's amazing. It's amazing how many talented artists, musicians there are here in Ohio. In Columbus alone, yeah. Yeah,
there is really. And one band I know you forgot to mention was the...
Oh yes, the Steve Mullins band that I performed. The John Mullins band that I performed in for a couple of years. Yeah, it was a great experience.
Nice. For Ohio Center for Broadcasting, this is Stephen Myers and Bill
Kurzenberger.
And also, one last thing, your music. Where can we find you at?
Yes, my website is www.billsmusic.net, and currently you can find me performing with Stone Groove, the Bughounds, Skeleton Crew, and Terrapin Moon.
And this all happens right in Columbus, Ohio.
That's right, right here.
Right here, this
Columbus.
is where it's happening.
That's right.
For OCB, this is Steve Myers signing off.
Well, don't see I'm pretty old and haggard and gray, and I'm straight up shot down, I'm slightly blown away, and I'm half between, I'm frozen within. Hey, what better cure than a bottle of gin? Come around when I get around. Don't you know that I've already been around? Come around when I get around. Well, just as soon as my feet can touch down. Give me. He's a friend of mine. He owns a shop in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, he does. Well, he's dreaming of the past that he left behind, and he knows there's some place that he would rather be. What? Come around when I get around. Don't you know that I've already been around? Come around when I get around. Well, just as soon as my feet can touch the ground. Well, just as soon as my feet can touch the ground.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Confest, everybody. Remember, the more you drink, the better we sound. Come on with it.
All too well, for what reason? It's hard to tell. I hear a whisper of an old town, filled with wonder. I know it's true.
So we know what it means to be community organizers, and that is the very heart of this festival. The people it represents, the groups it represents, the works that's done throughout the year. And right now, receiving an honor from you, at least for today, I feel like one of the luckiest men in Columbus. Thank
Never was no loss in losing. Never ever was no one to blame. Love, you'll find your way if you are willing. Come and play this big old silly game. Valley and the hill, it's all the same. It's just a big old silly game. Think I know more by now where I'm going. Just the same old silly place.
us some history on Confest and how it all got started and created.
Okay, the idea of Confest was started in the early 70s. We had too many friends to have a party at anybody's house, so we had to take it to the streets. And to be able to do that, you have to pay for permits, you have to pay for security, and then we had to figure out a way of paying for this all. And that's how basically the festival started. My sister, in the first years, extorted money from the drug dealers to get us off the ground. You may have to cut that, I know, but I had to throw that in. That's for your archives.
Exactly.
She's
Yeah.
dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all in the same type of business or somewhere or another.
Great now, but it started, this is like a massive oak tree that grew out of an acorn. And I was there and gave the ground for the acorn. In effect, I was director of the Wesley Foundation, which is there at Waldeck and 16th. And that's where the festival was held. We had a nice sloping lawn that kind of went down and made an amphitheater for a stage right there in the street. Little triangle area there. And it was just a perfect location when the festival was still small. Now, what did I do? First, I just provided room for the great community groups and individuals to come together in a community spirit. We had in our building a number of groups. The Women's Action Collective met there. The food pantry, the food co-op, wasn't a pantry, it was a co-op, was in our basement. In our back office, we had at first the Free Press, the Tenants Union, all kinds of organizations that were working there, and we were very free in allowing people to just do what they wanted to do in the building. We were probably the first church building that really welcomed gay people, for example, and they're welcome in all the churches in this part of the city now. In fact, people are eager to get them into the churches, but we were the first, and took the pressure, that came with that sort of thing. So we had an open attitude. We worked for peace in those days. Still the Vietnam War going on, and really, it was all those community groups who were in there rubbing shoulders together. Everybody got to know each other, and pretty soon they wanted to do things not just as their individual groups, but as a community. And that sense of community came, part of it was there because these people knew each other anyway, but particularly as they worked together down the same hallways, going to the same restrooms, and then having community dinners and community lunches, and the community met in our big auditorium. And we had a stage there, an auditorium, and it was a perfect place to hold meetings. And we'd have, probably over 1,000 people in there, I would say, on a really big night.
Steve Conliff got arrested, as people probably recall, for throwing a pie at Governor Rhodes. At that time, we were so powerless that the most we could do was assassinate people with pies. And Steve got arrested for pieing the governor at the state fair.
The opening day of the state fair, right?
Right. And he was in jail when Confest jumped off, and we ended up raising money at Confest at 16th Avenue and got him out by the end of the festival.
What was soup is she talking about?